Here's a little secret. The people who post the most about being rich usually aren't. The ones flexing cars, cash, and fake lifestyles? Many are drowning in debt. But the quiet ones, the ones you don't hear about, are buying land, stacking investments, and creating generational wealth while everyone else is distracted. And here's the twist: wealth loves silence. The richest people in the world didn't shout their way to success. They built in the shadows until their results made all the noise. In this video, I'll show you why building wealth quietly is your most powerful weapon, and how you can use the same strategies to create lasting freedom, even if you're starting small. Stay with me until the end, because the final principle is the one even the wealthy rarely talk about, and it could change the entire way you think about money. Welcome to Wealth Quench, where we sip the wisdom of money slowly but deeply. Here, we don't chase claps or likes. We focus on what actually builds financial freedom. Today, we're diving into the paradox of quiet wealth, why the silent builders end up unstoppable, and how you can apply the same mindset in your own life. So, if you're ready to stop living for applause, start stacking assets, and learn the subtle moves that create true wealth, grab your seat. And if this resonates, hit that subscribe button, because here we grow quietly but powerfully. Part 1. The noise versus the builders. Here's the thing about money. The loudest stories you see about it usually aren't true. That influencer showing off a 5-star vacation, the trip is sitting on a credit card bill. The person posing with a brand new car, they're still making monthly payments so high they can barely breathe. The dinners, the designer bags, the champagne toasts many times. It's not success. It's borrowed confidence, dressed up as wealth. Now let's flip the script. Imagine someone else. No posts, no bragging, no competition. They're at home, quietly stacking. They're automating savings every month. They're buying into dividend-paying stocks or index funds, little by little. Maybe they're making extra payments on a mortgage or investing in a small piece of land. To the outside world, it looks boring, almost invisible. But here's the kicker. 10 years from now, those boring moves become extraordinary. That quiet builder has zero debt. They've got assets that pay them even while they sleep. They've got options. Meanwhile, the loud spender, still working to pay for things they bought years ago, still chasing the next flashy moment to keep up appearances. And this is why wealth feels like a paradox. It doesn't scream. It doesn't show off. It whispers in habits, discipline, and patience. The loud crowd entertains. The quiet ones build. And by the time you notice, the builders already own half the city while the noisemakers are still trying to impress strangers. Part 2. The story of a mentor. I'll never forget a man who became my silent mentor. If you passed him on the street, you wouldn't even turn your head. He wasn't wearing the latest sneakers, no flashy watch, no, look at me, designer suit. In fact, if you judge him by appearances, you'd assume he was just getting by. But here's the twist. Behind that ordinary look was an extraordinary reality. This man owned multiple properties spread across the city. Apartment blocks with tenants who paid him rent every single month. He had stocks that quietly grew while he slept. He had savings that could cover years of living without him lifting a finger. And the craziest part? He never bragged, never posted. He didn't need validation from anyone. His wealth didn't scream. It whispered in the peace he carried, in the choices he could make, in the fact that he never rushed to work stressed about bills. That's when it hit me. Real wealth isn't about what people see. It's not the car, the clothes, the dinners you post online. Real wealth is invisible. It's about security, knowing you're covered no matter what. It's about peace, sleeping soundly without debt haunting you. And it's about freedom, being able to say no to things that don't serve you and yes to the life you truly want. And from that mentor, I learned one of the most powerful lessons about money. The loudest wealth is often the weakest, and the quietest wealth is usually the strongest. Part 3. Loud living versus quiet building. Let's talk about the difference between loud living and quiet building. Loud living is designed for applause. It's that rented car you can't actually afford, the designer shoes bought on credit, the night out at a restaurant that empties half your paycheck. It feels good for a moment. People clap, like, and comment. But here's the truth. That lifestyle is borrowed. It belongs more to bank or the credit card company than it does to you. Loud living gives you short-term validation, but it drains your future. Now compare that with quiet building. It doesn't look glamorous. It's skipping the 10th dinner out this month and cooking at home. It's saying no to the newest phone when your old one still works fine, and instead using that money to buy shares in a company that will still be growing 10 years from now. It's choosing to rent out a property instead of renting a car for likes. And yes, in the moment, quiet building feels boring. Nobody claps for the person who meal preps on Sunday. Nobody throws a parade because you invested $200 instead of buying new sneakers. But here's the magic: those quiet, boring moves stack. They stack into security. They stack into peace of mind. They stack into freedom. Remember this: loud living makes you look rich today, but quiet building makes you truly rich tomorrow. The likes fade, the claps fade, but the wealth you quietly build, that stays. Part 4. The power of compounding silence. Here's where the magic happens. Silence compounds. Think about money like seeds. If you keep eating the seeds to impress your friends today, you'll always stay hungry tomorrow. But if you quietly plant them, water them, and let time do its work, one seed becomes a tree, and that tree bears fruit for life. That's how compounding works, not just in money, but in habits. Let's say you invest just $5 a day instead of spending it on a daily latte. That's $150 a month. Invested wisely, over 20 years, that tiny decision could grow into tens of thousands of dollars. Now imagine if you added $10, $20, or more every day. Quiet moves multiplied by time create extraordinary results. But here's the thing: compounding silence doesn't just build money. It builds character. It builds patience. It teaches you to delay gratification when everyone else is rushing for applause. And it's this patience that makes you unshakable. Because while others panic at every financial storm, you know your quiet seeds are growing underground, ready to bloom. So when you choose silence, you're not choosing weakness. You're choosing strength. You're choosing growth. You're choosing freedom that compounds over years. Wealth isn't a single loud moment. It's a quiet accumulation that suddenly looks unstoppable. Part 5. The Silent Saver Story. I once knew a young man who made a decision that changed everything. For just 1 year, he promised himself he'd live quietly, cut out the noise, and focus only on saving. No one really noticed. He wasn't buying new clothes every month. He wasn't upgrading his phone, and he skipped more parties than he attended. People thought he was boring, maybe even broke. But behind the scenes, he was stacking. Week by week, envelope by envelope, he watched his savings grow. By the end of 12 months, he had quietly saved over $10,000, more than some of his friends had in their accounts after years of working. When he finally shared what he had done, his friends couldn't believe it. They asked, "How did you even manage that?" And his answer stuck with me forever. He said, "I wasn't saving for applause. I was saving for freedom." That's the mindset shift right there. He wasn't chasing validation for the moment. He was chasing options for his future. Because when you have savings, you don't just have money. You have peace, you have choices, you have power. And no party, no flashy purchase can ever compete with that. Part 6. The Trap of Impressing Others. One of the greatest traps stealing wealth today is inflation, or even taxes. It's the pressure to impress others. It starts small. You see someone post their dream car online. Suddenly your perfectly fine car feels outdated. A colleague upgrades to the latest phone. Now you're itching to buy one too. Friends go out every weekend, and you don't want to be the odd one out. Before you know it, you're not spending for your own needs anymore. You're spending to keep up appearances. Leasing cars you can't afford. Swiping your credit card for dinners that taste bitter when the bill arrives. Or buying clothes just to post a picture. But here's the liberating truth. You don't need to look successful to be successful. The likes, the applause, the nods of approval, they won't pay your rent or secure your future. Real success is when you can sleep at night without financial anxiety. It's when you know your bills are covered, your savings are growing, and your future isn't chained to debt. Remember this: impressing others is expensive, but building quietly for yourself, that's priceless. Part 7. The Silent Wealth Challenge. Now let me challenge you. And I mean really challenge you. because change only comes when you take action. For the next 7 days, do this in silence. Step 1, track your money. Write down every single coin, dollar, or euro you spend. Morning coffee, bus fare, snacks, everything. It's not about judgment, it's about awareness. Because what you don't track controls you. Step 2, save at least 10% of your income this week. Not next month, not when things feel easier, this week. Even if it feels small, even if it's just $10 put aside, that habit is worth more than the amount. Step 3, take one tiny investment step. Buy your first stock, open a savings account, start learning about ETFs, or even test a digital investment app. Don't wait until you know everything. Start where you are and grow. Step 4, journal your wins privately. No social media updates. No telling friends. No look at me, I'm saving. Just you and your progress. Why? Because the loudest success is built in silence. Here's the truth. These small, invisible steps, they're seeds. No one claps when you plant a seed, but give it time, nurture it, and one day that tiny seed becomes a tree that shades your entire life. So take this challenge. 7 days of quiet discipline, because the little invisible wins today will turn into loud, undeniable success tomorrow. Part 8, from proving to improving. Here's a mindset shift that can completely change your life. Stop trying to prove yourself to others and start trying to improve yourself for you. Think about it. Just because people don't notice you now doesn't mean you're failing. Some of the greatest success stories began in total silence. Being underestimated? That's your secret weapon. While they laugh or overlook you, you're building skills, stacking savings, investing quietly, and that growth compounds. Across the world, it's the same story. The student who chooses to study instead of chasing clout, the employee who upskills online at night instead of scrolling endlessly, the entrepreneur who reinvests every cent instead of showing off. These are the people who transform silently until one day they're unrecognizable. Remember, flashy results impress for a moment, but consistent growth lasts a lifetime. Don't chase applause. Build competence. Don't chase validation. Build value. Because here's the undeniable truth. When your results finally speak, no one can argue with them. Your progress will silence every doubt, every critic, every comparison. So, forget about proving. Focus on improving. Quiet growth today creates undeniable success tomorrow, and that's the kind of success that doesn't just get noticed, it gets respected. Part 9, Daily Silent Wealth Habits. Let me share with you the daily habits of silent wealth builders, the ones who grow quietly but surely. Track your money daily. Even if it's just jotting down yesterday's spending in a notebook or opening your budget app for 60 seconds. What gets measured gets managed. The wealthy don't guess where their money went. They know. Review your goals every morning. Before the world pulls you into noise, remind yourself of your mission. Whether it's buying land, clearing debt, building an emergency fund, or investing for retirement, keep it in front of you. That daily reminder keeps you aligned when distractions try to derail you. Protect your peace from comparisons. In every country today, social media can make you feel like you're behind. Someone's flaunting a new car, vacation, or gadget. But remember, peace of mind is wealth too. Protect it. The less you compare, the freer you are to focus on your lane. Invest in your health and routines. A morning walk, cooking a healthy meal, drinking water, or reading 10 pages of book. These tiny daily deposits compound just like money. Silent wealth isn't only financial. It's mental, physical, and emotional. And above all, stay consistent. Wealth is rarely built in one big, noisy move. It's built in small, quiet acts, repeated daily, that no one claps for at first. But over time, they stack up to something undeniable. Because true wealth isn't built in noise. It's built in quiet, disciplined choices that compound when no one's watching. Here's the truth. The loudest people in a room are rarely the wealthiest. Real wealth is built in silence, behind the scenes, through discipline and patience. It's not about showing off today. It's about securing tomorrow. It's not about proving you've made it. It's about improving until you actually have. So whether you're in New York, London, Lagos, or Mumbai, the principles remain the same. Build quietly. Stay consistent. Let your results speak when the time is right. Because wealth doesn't need validation. It needs vision. And your vision is worth more than likes, claps, or comparisons. Now, here's your challenge. Take at least one action today. Track your spending, save a small amount, or make your first tiny investment. Do it quietly, do it for you, and let the results compound over time. And if this message resonated with you, don't just keep it to yourself. Join our Wealth Coins community by hitting that subscribe button, giving this video a like, and sharing it with someone who needs to hear it today. Because together, we're building a world where wealth is not about noise, but about freedom, security, and peace of mind. Stay disciplined, stay silent, and stay wealthy.